Hello again and welcome to follow my sailboat build project. My name is Panu and I am about to build this 15-meter liveaboard cruising sailboat here in Finland. Spring is here, temperatures are rising quickly and I am in the middle of making this stem piece of the boat. In last video you saw me laminating this first part and now I'm gonna continue right where I left and then we are going to put it into the CNC machine and see what happens there. I hope it gets into this video as promised. If you're interested to follow my journey and support this project, please subscribe the channel, it's the free way. Then there is my Patreon page that allows you to support this video production even more, and then there is of course t-shirts and other stuff. All those links and stuff you can find from the description below. Nevertheless, let's jump right back to lamination. Second layer is done. Working time with the epoxy seems to work, even though it's almost 15 degrees Celsius already. I'm still gonna put the box around it because nights are still pretty chilly. So I'm hoping that all this epoxy is cured tomorrow and I can do another layer. Another pretty nice day. It's almost 20 degrees Celsius here in the tent, which is awesome. A little bit scary because yeah, the epoxy can kick on the hands, so to speak. But the second layer is done. It looks very good. One thing I noticed that when the temperature is higher, the epoxy of course is more liquid, and that makes that there isn't too much of epoxy in here. There is not that much squeeze out this time. So I really need to keep that in mind, that I have to put enough epoxy on each layer. Now I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. There is some squeeze out in here. I'm just gonna use a chisel to scrape them off. Then I'm gonna sand this surface to get rid of these small stains of epoxy. Alrighty, the third lamination is done. Sorry about the wind noise, it's pretty windy outside. There is still at least one more session to go, and this time I'm probably gonna use these slats that are left over from the frame job. And I just measured that this should be enough width in this section right here, because this is, as mentioned, gonna be shaped with the CNC down to about this 1 centimeter. So this should be wide enough. The challenge here is to how I'm gonna push them down to this surface, because obviously I can't use these clamps anymore. But just to demonstrate this is pretty easy to bend around this corner, just because it is so much smaller dimensions. Okay, almost done here. A couple of days ago I laminated even more slats into this stem piece, and it didn't go that well. All this is gonna be trimmed off, as mentioned many times before, so it doesn't really matter. Only thing that matters is the other side, which is against this table here. We'll see how that actually went, but small gaps, nah. Now I'm gonna laminate the last pieces just around here, these 6 slats, just to fill this small area right here to make the full width of the stem in the middle. So after that we can get into the CNC machine and trim this down, which is gonna be exciting. Finally, the first half of the stem is laminated. It took 5 different sessions to laminate this, and one of them didn't really go that well, but it is done now. And now it's time to start shaping it to its final form. In last video I showed you a little bit how I'm gonna do this, but since that I have been thinking the process a little bit more, and last night I actually spent quite many hours just with the computer to figure out how the shaping actually comes together. This is now about 11.5 centimeters thick, which is 5 millimeters more than it needs to be. And that's because I'm going to plane it down to make sure that all these surfaces are smooth and flat, to be able to glue the halves together eventually. And I think I'm gonna explain now how I'm actually going to do it with the CNC, and we'll see how that actually goes. First we have to take a look a little bit the setup here. This mold is made with the OSB board beneath and the OSB board here to kind of keep the shape. But what you don't see right now is that the lower OSB board has alignment holes in the middle. And the first job is to make those similar holes to that CNC spoil board, so I can place this bottom piece at a very exact spot. And it is also made so that I can turn this around to make the other half, other side up. So this bottom piece will be put on the CNC first. Then I'm gonna place this stem half exactly where it is now over that bottom piece, so it is exactly where it should be. When it's there, I'm gonna plane this top surface down about 2 millimeters to get it smooth and flat. Then I'm gonna take them all out, put this bottom piece other way around and put this stem other way around, and then plane down the bottom side, which actually should be quite flat now, but there will be some defects there as well. So I'm gonna plane both sides first with the CNC, and both of those times I'm gonna take 2 millimeters off, so that's 4 millimeters. Then I'm gonna turn it around again, back this top side up, and plane that remaining 1 millimeter. So after that, the stem piece should be exactly 11 centimeters thick. Then when it's on its place and proper thickness, I can start shaping it. And we are gonna do the stepping shaping we did on the last video with that test piece, but we're gonna shape this section right here all the way back here, right about here. And then the last job is to route the exact shape of the stem. So right about there, this edge right here, all the excess off, and then on the other side as well, so I can get the exact shape the stem needs to be. But now the first job is to make those alignment holes to that CNC spoil board. Okay, platform is on its place. Now I just need to fix it down. These are too long to be here. This way I can align the board exactly where it should be, and then I'm gonna put the stem piece right in here. Okay, now everything should be ready. The 0 point is set to this OSB board. This is the 0 level. Everything looks alright. I'm still a little bit nervous. What's going to happen? I think I'll just cross my fingers and push the start button. Just look at that. It works. I can't really describe how amazing that result is. That router bit that is just from another planet. This is better than planing. Okay, but now the first side has been cut to level, and now I need to flip this over and do the other side. Okay, the second side is done as well. There was a bit of a dip in between there. Not sure if my table has moved a little bit. I don't know, but now it's playing down straight. And there's still 1 millimeter to take off, and I think I'm gonna take it from this side instead of that other side. The other side was pretty much perfect. There is some low spots on this side, so I'm gonna take them as low as possible. Not gonna get rid of them all the way, but mostly. It was the second to last lamination that went a little bit not so perfectly. And just like that, the first half of the stem is machined, so it is completely flat on this side and on the other side as well. Now everything should be ready for shaping this stem. I just cut here a little bit off so that all the cutting movements will go over this edge. Now I just cross my fingers and wish that everything goes well. This is exciting. First round took 45 minutes. This is now second round. And there is, if I remember right, 20 of those rounds. Of course they're getting smaller step by step, but still it's gonna take 5 hours at least. We'll see. Everything looks good though.
minutes work behind there. It's gonna take many hours, so I think I'm gonna stop this video right here to a little bit of a cliffhanger, but we will continue in the next video by checking out how that stem piece actually turns out, and then I'm gonna do some other stuff as well. I just realized that I don't actually have that much epoxy left anymore, so I probably won't gonna be able to do the next piece for the stem. I ordered some epoxy that's gonna take a couple of weeks to arrive, but there is plenty of stuff to do. The frames from 1 to 3, the 3 smaller frames, I think I'm gonna be able to do those, or at least one of them. Then there is all kinds of maintenance work, and actually I really would like to start laying up the boat here in the floor. Feel free to leave a comment. What do you think of this stem piece? Give me a like. Remember, of course, to subscribe. And if you want to support a project like this, check out the Patreon page, check out the t-shirts and all that jazz. And we will see you in the next video. Bye bye.